purchase requisition. So it is the first document in the procurement to payment process, right? So in the procurement to payment process, we have different documents, like we have purchase requisition, we have request for quotation, we have quotation. Okay. Then we will convert our purchase requisition to a purchase order. So some clients will directly, they will create a purchase order, or so some will create a purchase requisition and then they will convert into a purchase order. Okay, like that we have a different documents. We'll do the goods. So first we'll discuss about each and everything is a different topic here. Okay, so first we'll discuss about the purchase requisition. Okay, we'll call it as a PR also. So purchase requisition is an internal document. Okay, so we are not going to send this purchase requisition document to any of your supplier. Okay, it will not come, it will not go. Okay, it will be on your company only. It is just an internal document because we are not sending this document to any of your suppliers. Okay, so whatever the requirements are there, like how much material company requires, how much quantity, what's the delivery date, everything will be stored in the purchase requisition. If they are fine with that quantity, if they are fine with that requirement, then they will convert that purchase requisition into a purchase order. Okay. So to create a purchase requisition, we will use the transaction code ME51M. Okay, so this is the transaction code to create a purchase requisition. If you want to change also, we can change through ME52. Always one is for creation, two for change, and three for display. ME53 and for display. Okay, so like this we have a different transaction codes for purchase requisitions. Okay, so some companies will use approval also. So some companies will use approval process for purchase requisition also, even though it is an internal document. So directly they will not convert your purchase requisition into a purchase order. So they will put the release strategy. They will put approval process for your purchase requisition and then they will convert your purchase requisition to a purchase order. Okay, so if you have a approval process, then that process is a release strategy concept. So we will discuss these concept release strategy. So release strategy in the sense, so until and unless if you are not approving that purchase requisition, you cannot convert this PR into a purchase order. Okay, so without a release strategy, you cannot use that document without an approval. Without an approval, for example, you put an approval for your manager. Okay, so the manager has to approve that purchase requisition document. Otherwise, you cannot use this purchase requisition document. That is a release strategy concept. Not only for purchase requisition, we can put a release strategy for all the purchasing documents like purchase requisition, request for quotation for purchase order. Okay, you can configure a release strategy for all of your purchasing documents. Okay, so this is about a release strategy. And coming to the, we will see how to create a purchase requisition. What are the mandatory fields? We will see how to create. So go to the ME51 and transaction code. Okay, so here the document type controls the your field selection number range. If it is a material type will control. Okay, if it is a vendor master, who is going to control? Account group is the one which controls your number range and your field selection. Like this, for your purchasing documents, always this document types is going to control your field selection and your number range concept. Okay, so the standard document type is your NB. So always we will use the standard document type as a NB for your purchase requisition. If you want to create a new purchase requisition also, we can create in the configuration part. Okay, so but NB is the standard document type for your purchase requisition and for your purchase order also. Okay, so here we will give in the header only a text will be maintained. If you want to maintain a text for all of your materials, you can maintain a text here. And here you will give your material, what is the material number and how much quantity you require. You want 40 quantity for example, and here is your plant. Okay, so to give your purchasing group. So these are the mandatory details. You will give how much material, what is the quantity. So automatical delivery date will be calculated because we hadn't given any planned delivery time. So delivery date always be calculated based on your planned delivery time, your GR processing time. Okay, based on these factors, the delivery, we will see how to calculate the delivery date also. While discussing about the configuration part, what is processing time, we will discuss how to calculate the delivery date also. Okay, so these are the mandatory details, and we'll maintain the store, what is the storage location, your plant, everything. Okay. So if you are clicking on assign source of supply, see automatically the vendor is coming. If you click on, if there is a source of supply with a fixed vendor, then automatically the fixed vendor will be assigned in your purchase requisition. So in the source list, we had maintained our fixed vendor, right? So if you can display the source list, you go to the ME03. So give your material and give your plant here. So here we fixed these vendor. Okay. Oh, but based on the quota arrangement. So because we have a quota arrangement concept also, because of these quota arrangement, I think automatically the system had taken this. But if you have no quota arrangement, system will fix your vendor. Okay, so we have both the quota arrangement and we have both the source list. If you want only the quota arrangement, if you want only the quota arrangement, then you will not fix your vendor. Okay, you can uncheck your vendor. So based on the quota, it had taken your vendor as a 991 because the person who has a low quota, it will take, right? Because already we know what is the formula for quota. It is always a allocated quantity plus your base quantity by quota. Okay, so yesterday video you can see how the quota will be calculated. So wherever the vendor has a lowest quota, the system automatically will take your vendor. Okay. So if you do not want a quota arrangement, so you want only the fixed vendor, then okay, you can maintain. Then you can use only the source list. If there is no quota arrangement concept, you want to use only your fixed vendor, then there is no need of creating your quota arrangement. Okay. So coming to the desired vendor, here we have fixed vendor, here we have a desired vendor also. So desired vendor means, so whenever the purchase requisition is created, so the purchase requisition will be created by the requisitioner. Requisitioner is the person who is responsible to create your purchase requisition. We call them as a requisitioner. Okay. So these requisitioner will know some of the vendors who is good in the market. For example, these requisitioners are know. So they already know like which vendor is good in the market. So already they know who is good in the supplying of goods. Okay. So if they maintain their desired vendor, for example, they maintain their desired vendor as 1000, then in that case, if requisitioner says this vendor is good in the market, then we call them as a desired vendor. Okay. So we will compare whether already if we have fixed vendor, then we will not go for a desired vendor. But if there is no fixed vendor, then sometimes business will go with a desired vendor because already requisitioner will have idea about the vendor supplies, how it will be there, like whether the quality is good or not, everything. Okay, then we will go with a desired vendor. So that is the difference between your fixed and your designed vendor. Okay. So like this, we have different fields. We have a tracking number. Tracking number in the sense when you're converting your purchase requisition into a purchase order, okay, then this tracking number will also be converted. For example, I maintain my tracking number as 123. So when I'm converting this purchase requisition into a purchase order, this tracking number will also be there as a 123 for your purchase order. Okay, for all the purchasing document, the tracking number will be same. Okay, so because of these tracking number, you can track all of your purchasing documents easily. So that is the purpose of your tracking number, just to track all the purchasing documents, all the group of your purchasing documents, like your RFQ, quotation, your purchase requisition, purchase order. You want all the documents. Okay, so with the help of tracking number, you can find easily all the group of your purchasing documents. So that is the use of your tracking number. Okay. So these are the most important fields we will use in the, so if you know who is the requisitioner, you can give your requisitioner also. Okay, so like this you can give your tracking number. So these are the important fields. So if we go to the item detail, if you go to the item detail, we will see here the material details, the material group, here the quantity, your delivery date, your request date. Okay. So your delivery date, GR processing time, you can see here. So in the valuation tab, here we are going to give the price of your material, like how much price each 1 kg. For example, you want 40 kg, but we will give the each kg as 100 rupees. Okay, so 100 into 40, it will calculate as the total value is a 4,000. Like that, it will calculate your total value. Okay, this is about the price. So source of supply, your fixed vendor, your info record, you can see in the source of supply tab. Okay. So the delivery address in the sense your planned delivery address. So for example, you put this order, your planned delivery address you can see here. Okay, so your planned address you can see in the delivery address because vendor will need to deliver for the plant only. Okay. Here you have a different types of text, item text, delivery text. You can maintain a different types of text here. Each and every material you want to maintain a different text, then you can choose these item text. But you want the same text for all the materials, then you will maintain in the header level. Okay, so header level is for all of your materials. Item text is only for a single material. Only for this material only, this item text will be applicable. Okay, and next is your contact person. Yeah. So here some fields are important. So who created? The created by. Okay. So this is my username. My username maybe it is in the user profile. It is Venkat is there. So that is why we are getting a created by. Who created? Changed on. Who changed on this? You can see your tracking number, a purchasing group. The requisitioner. Requisitioner means the person who is responsible to create your purchase requisition. Okay. And then a creation indicator. We'll discuss what is a creation indicator. So creation indicator means a purchase requisition can be created in a many ways, not only manually in the sense you will create through a transaction code ME51N. But there are process in SAP, automatically the purchase requisition will be generated. If there are some process in SAP like MRP, you don't know because in the future we will discuss all these topics like material requirement planning and third party process. Okay, so automatically in that case manually you will not create your purchase requisition. Okay, so automatically the purchase requisition will be generated. Okay, in that case you can see this creation indicator as a MRP, material requirement planning, is a B. Okay, if you are converting, if you are, it is through sale order. If it is integration with SD part, then it will be sales and distribution document. So there are many ways in SAP you can create these purchase requisitions. Here in the creation indicator, you can find it out how these got created, whether it is a manual or whether it is through MRP. So it would be helpful to track your purchase requisition. For example, in the production, you are having an issue. Okay, you don't know how this purchase requisition got created. Okay, then through this creation indicator, you can see whether it got manually created or through any different process it got created. Okay, so that is the use of this creation indicator field. Okay, and coming to the status tab, here you have a two status. One is this is the release status and this is your procurement status. Okay, in the status tab, we have a two important fields. Is a procurement status. For example, you created a purchase requisition and then you are converting your purchase requisition into a purchase order. So the procurement status will convert into a PO created. Okay, so whenever you are converting your purchase requisition into another document, here the procurement status will update. So PO created. So it will change into a PO created. Okay, for example, you created a contract with respect to this purchase requisition. So a contract created. Like this, a status will update. If it is a service material, you created a service entry sheet, then it will update as a service entry sheet created. So the next process of your purchase requisition will also update. The creation indicator means how it got created, but procurement status means so what is the status of your procurement, whether it is in the purchase order state or this is in the purchase requisition state only. Okay, just to see your procurement status, you can use this field. Okay, and the next one is this is for your release status. if you have release strategy tab for your purchase requisition, if you have release strategy approval process for your purchase requisition, okay, then you can see these release. 02 means there is no release strategy. Here there is no release strategy tab for your item or a header level, right? So in that case, the release status will be 02. There is no one to approve for this purchase requisition. But if you have approval process for this purchase requisition, you can see it is a in release. You can see the 03 status. It is in release. After you release the purchase requisition, the status will change to a release completed. So this is your release status. Okay, we will see how to release the purchase requisition also. Okay, that is the release status. So we will take any of the purchase requisitions which has a release strategy. So after creation, you can save this document. So purchase number will be created. If you want to change, you can change the with ME52N, you can change your purchase requisition. So like this for display, you will use ME52. And okay, like this we have a different so we'll see some of the purchase requisitions which has release strategy. So I will show you how the status will update. So these are the tables for your purchase requisition. EBAN, EBAN is the table for your purchase requisition. There are two tables. EBAN is one of the table and there are table EBKN. EBKN is a account assignment data. Assignment data. So first we'll see how to release a purchase requisition. Okay. So if you go for the table EBAN, here you can find your release strategy. Okay, the release status you can see your release strategy. So I want the purchase requisition which is in release, or you can search for your release strategy. You can give your not equal to space. That means you want the purchase requisitions which has release strategy. Okay, and execute. So we will see if there are any purchase requisitions. Oh yeah, it's there. There, but there are two old documents, 1996. There are two old documents now. So we'll see this purchase requisition, whether it will open or not. Oh yeah, so these purchase requisition has the release strategy tab. So when you have an approval process, you need to configure the release strategy so that a release strategy tab will trigger. Okay, so a release strategy tab, if you want an item level, you can create in an item level. If you want to create in a header level also, you can create because it is an internal document. You can, yeah, you can give the approval process for both header and item levels. You can, if you want release strategy tab in the header level, then you can create in the header level. But for the purchase order, it will not be allowed. For the purchase order only, in the header level only, you can create a release strategy because it is an external document. Okay, so you cannot approve for each and every material. So the total document has to be approved for your purchase order because it is an internal document. There are two levels, both header and item levels. You can create a release strategy. Okay, so here you can see that it is a in release, right? So there is a release strategy, but it was not released. It is a in release state only. Okay, if you want to release your purchase requisition, so here go for release strategy. Here this is the code. Code is nothing but the person who has to approve. Okay, code is not the release code. Is the person. For example, there is no description maintained, or else you can maintain your description also. Release code is nothing but the person who is going to approve your purchase requisition. Okay, 54. Go for ME54N. So it is also like purchase requisition only. Hmm. We'll see. We'll give the purchase equation here. Okay, so it is also same like ME53. So here you can see this is ME53 and this is for only for display. You cannot edit. If you want edit, you can click on this pencil button. You can change your data. Okay, so this is your ME54N. Okay, here click on this release strategy tab. So check this release strategy tab. So check your release option. So click on release, the release affected with code. Okay, the status was not because I didn't save this one. So that is why the status is not updated. So I'm releasing this one also. So you need to click on this release and then you need to save. Okay, so purchase equation got changed. So now you can see the status of your purchase equation as a release completed, right? So the total release completed. So like this, the status will change according to your release strategy. Okay, so this is about the total fields of your purchase requisition. Okay. Now we will see the configuration of a purchase. So ME54N is for your release strategy. If you want to release your purchase requisition, ME54N is the one which was used. It is ME55 also. So if you want to, for multiple purchase requisition, if you want to release, then you will use a ME55N. Okay. So this is for single purchase requisition only. If you want to multiple, if you want to release, then you will use ME55N for multiple purchase requisitions. Okay. So this is about your purchase requisition. So how to create, and these are the transaction codes. Coming to the tables is a EBAN. So EBAN, you will find all the PR data here. So we'll see what is an account assignment category also. Yeah. So while creating of your purchase requisition, okay, here there is an account assignment category also. Okay, if it is a non-valuated material, account assignment category, there are different are there, but mostly if it is a non-valuated material, if it is a directly consumption material, there is no accounting document required. Okay, so when you are doing a goods receipt with respect to the purchase order, with respect to this purchase order, you cannot accounting document will not generate. If it is assignment category, you gave it as a cost center. Okay. So, for example, if you're creating a new purchase requisition, okay, for this new purchase requisition, for your material, for this material, the material type was not, quantity and value update was not there for this material type. Then you will get an error that account assignment is mandatory. If you are not updating your quantity and value in your material type, then system will ask your cost center and your GL account. So in that case, you need to give your account assignment category as a K. So this is for consumable materials. For consumption materials, you will give for non-evaluated materials. So materials which has a quantity update, but there is no price update. So you do not want a price for that materials. Okay, so in that case, you will select your account assignment category as a K. So these cost center will trigger. You're giving the account assignment category as a K, so automatically you can find this account assignment tab. So it will ask what is your GL account, what is your cost center. So here cost center is also one of the organizational unit. Okay, it is not our organization unit, it is the FI organization unit. So it will capture whatever the amount you are storing in the valuation tab. So it will capture your price. Okay. So there is no need of accounting document. There is no need of GL account. There is no updation of accounting document. Okay. So whenever there is a price changes, this cost center will take care. There is no need of accounting document again. Okay, that is about the account assignment category. If you do not want a quantity and value update, either you need to update in the material type in the OMS2. So you'll go for the OMS2 and you will update the quantity and value update for your material type. Okay, you need to update for your valuation area. So our valuation area is ALMI. Here you need to update a quantity and value update. If there is no update, then system will ask for your cost center. You need to give your account assignment category. Okay. So either you need to give the quantity or value update or you need to give your GL account or cost center. But in real time, if it is a service materials or some materials will not require storage location at all. So after manufacturing, they will consume. So somebody will sell, will buy that materials. Okay, there is no need of updating your GL account. There is no need of inventory management. Okay, so in that case, you will give your account assignment category as a cost center or sale order, project order. Like this, we have a different types of account assignment categories. Okay, you will give your GL account and a cost center. Okay, with respect to that only, system will capture the entire price of the material. So we will discuss in the purchase order, we will discuss briefly about the account assignment category. Okay, so in the account determination also, we will discuss about that. So this is about the creation of purchase requisition, how to release your purchase requisitions. And we have reports also. So coming to the reports of purchase requisition. So we have ME5A is the report for your purchase requisition. Okay, so you can get the display, you can get the list of all purchase requisitions through ME5A. If you want a cost center GL account also, the cost center GL account you will not find here. In ME5A you can only find your document type, your purchase requisition. There is no account assignment data. If you want account assignment data, then it is ME5K. Okay, here you can find your cost center, your order, all the details which are related to the account assignment. Okay, there are two reports. One is ME5A, ME5K. So ME5K for your account assignment data. So this is about the purchase requisition. Now we will see the configuration of purchase requisition. So we'll separate in a different recording.